Okay, so state your name for the record.
Dave J.
All right.
Or Dave J. Gerstein.
All right, so what have you been up to lately?
Well, I've been writing a lot of songs. I do a lot of different things. So on my website, davejay.com, DAVEJAY.com, I just try to break it down to songwriter, performer, characters for kids and adults. But if you'd like me to kind of get a little more specific, so as a singer-songwriter, I write kind of pop rock tunes, Elvis Costello in a tug of war with the Beatles and XTC, kind of stuff. And then I also do a one-man show in which I play each of the Beatles.
So you're doing a show where you impersonate all the Beatles?
Yes, a couple of years ago, I developed this one-man show. I was trying to do my own showcase rather than continuing, say, to go on auditions and different things, something to show industry people and people alike what I can do. And since I love to write songs and do music and do impressions and characterizations, and I'm a huge Beatles fan, I worked with this guy, Brad Calcaterra, who had an acting class here in the city, and over the course of the year workshopped it into this thing called John, Paul, George, Ringo, one word.
Okay.
And I would essentially come out dressed as an amalgam of all four Beatles, circa mid-60s, and the whole show was improvised with the audience. They could ask any question of any Beatle, just raise your hand, ask your question, say the name of the Beatle you'd like to ask, and I would morph between the four.
Okay. Can we try it?
Sure.
All right, so this question, I guess, would be, this question is for John Lennon.
Hello.
And the question
Good to be
is,
here.
what do you think of the world today?
Well, it's worse because I'm not in it, you see. You know, I'd like to be here for it, you know, with my kid growing up, with both my kids, really, you know. But, you know, it's just as troubled as it was back then, you know. I mean, I think that's sort of thing.
Winter magic, glitter on the treetops glistening. In the distance, Santa's sleigh bells, I am listening now. I'm sure he's on his way right now.
You got the nose down. There's always a lot of your nose, I noticed, in every
You know,
interview.
that's right, you know. And then, of course, Paul copies me.
I do not, you know. Oh, I do, perhaps. But I think I started, you know, before John took it from me. You know, people give him credit for things I did. Just saying, you know. But I think the world's pretty good. Of course, you got your problems, you know. That's why I think we've got to fight for freedom. You know, like I said in the song. In the new film, you can catch it. Special theatres.
What film is that from?
It's a 911 tribute film, the 9/11 thing, because I was here in the city for it. Was on the tarmac, about to take off, and they said you can't go, you know, anywhere. So I said, why? They said you bombed. They'd been bombed, the World Trade Center. You know. So we were back and we put the concert together. And there's a film about it.
It's pretty damn good, man.
Made by the original guy who made our first appearance here in New York.
That was Ringo there for that one?
Oh, I wasn't here for that. But first, show me your peace signs. Everybody out there in Radio Land, make your peace signs at the radio, at the computer. Fabulous. It's great. I was not here, but I was here in spirit. Fantastic.
George, did you do any George?
I tend to do the George from the anthology era, really. You know, a bit more of a thoughtful George.
Yeah.
Slower. That's the thing with these characters, you just sort of have to find the distinction between the four.
People always find George, I think, the toughest.
Yeah, he's some sort of, people always say your George isn't as good as your John. You know,
The Paul is like 100% spot on.
Thank you very much, because he was tough to guess. You
Yeah.
know. It took me a while doing it over and over, but we did this show then in 2008, 28, I guess you'd say, in the Fringe, the New York International Fringe Festival. That's good for us because we're international. We like to do things internationally. So it did well there, and one outstanding solo show got extended.
Oh, good for you.
And then got to do it in the cabin, which was great.
One foot past the other,